I'm really interested in when all this stuff is happening around Families First, there are changes towards teams, there's changes towards local offers. You know, I understand the premise of it and I'm not resistant to change because I think the premise of this Families First stuff comes from a really good place. But I'm really interested in family-facing social workers, as I have always been. The person going out and knocking on that front door, not knowing what's behind it. Whilst all of these changes are going on in local authorities, how is it actually impacting social workers? How is it impacting the job that they do? And when we are having shifts and changes in teams and this huge focus on multi-agency approaches, which have always been there, by the way, like it's not that they're new, but you know, we are seeing this reinforcing of, you know, multi-agency teams. The new acronym is MASA, or are we saying MESA? I don't know where we're sitting with our phonics there. And I'm just thinking, one of my most popular trainings and the questions I get asked in every single training, regardless of the skills I'm covering, is about meetings, interacting with multi-agencies, either chairing a meeting or being at a meeting and sharing your particular views. I don't know any social worker who has, by default, through their route to entry, had training in chairing meetings, in managing meetings, in, you know, managing groups, in dealing with conflict within a group. And that is one of the massive parts of this new legislation. And I think it's just so important that the skills training catches up with the legislative changes, because otherwise it means nothing. Like, you can change the team structure all you like. You can call it Families First. You can have a kind of more of a streamlined process for children and families. But ultimately, if you have not trained everybody in that team in how to chair a meeting, how to use an agenda, how to start a meeting, how to make sure a meeting has finished, rather than having the weird meeting after a meeting that happens a lot of the time. You know, if people don't feel comfortable to pause a meeting halfway and take a break, which is actually one of the things I talk the most about in training, then you're not matching up this huge agenda, massive change with the skills that are needed. For me, is it a worry? Is it a thought? Is it a reflection? I don't know. When I see these changes happening in local authorities and I see this overarching umbrella of Families First, I think that's great. But what does it mean for the people knocking on doors? What does it mean for the people who are required to work in more of a multidisciplinary group? How are people adjusting to those changes? And where are the core skills? And are those core skills going to be invested in and updated? Because the two things have to marry up. And I think if you're going to invest in a change like Families First, you have to invest in the skills that bring that change.